Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Friday, October 4th, 2019, and I have so much to talk to you about. Some of this is going to blow you away. Let's start off here with the monster rally here on Wall Street. Stocks finished higher across the board in a big way, and there are multiple reasons for this, and we're going to outline some of that too. Where to start? Okay. For those of you that follow this blog, you have heard me explain to you for a very long time, but especially as of late, that the Fed is about to go nuclear, that the Federal Reserve, and of course, the ruling party here in the United States, the propaganda ministry, they are going to inflate the debt like you have no idea. We are entering a new phase. Now, let's talk about this new phase. What did we find out today? And what helped push this stock market to this pretty incredible rally today? How about this? The Federal Reserve, and I know you will not be surprised about this. How many of you recall the Federal Reserve was supposed to stop their repo operation and their longer-term debt purchases on the 10th of this month? Well, just a few days from now. Well, guess what? No, it's been pushed off till maybe next month on the 8th. Let me explain this to you. It's perpetual. Not only has the Federal Reserve now put off stopping their repo, they're expanding it, and it is going to not stop ever. That is the plan. Now, this was obviously part of the reason why stocks rallied today. The Federal Reserve owns the market, just like I explained to you in a video. I think that was part of the title recently. But I'll tell you what else was extremely bullish. Let's back up a moment. The fact that the Federal Reserve is now extending and expanding not just its repo purchases and overnight purchases of debt, it's expanding its longer-term debt purchases. Not only is it extending its longer-term debt purchases, they're doing this in several different ways. This is because our economy is so strong. You know that. That was the narrative all day long. Anyway, so this gets much bigger than what the Fed is doing now, which is QE6. Now, this is QE6. No doubt about it. No one's talking about it, but that's what it's called. That's what it should be called. If you notice, right now, we had at least 3 Fed presidents come out, maybe more than that in the last 2 days, who have explained that they are going to back rate cuts moving forward. Fed Chair Powell today said, our economy is really strong, exactly like the president. We have reached synchronicity between the Federal Reserve and the President of the United States. Now, those of you that follow this blog have never been duped about the good cop, bad cop routine that has been going on for years now. President bashing the Fed, the Federal Reserve saying, oh, blah, 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 but they do exactly what he says. This has been a play on the people, which it seems that a lot of people bought. A lot of websites, a lot of YouTube blogs were pushing the narrative that the president wanted to get rid of the Fed. No, I explained to you how this was playing out, good cop, bad cop. But now, the fact that they are both on the same page, you have the president calling for rate cuts, you have Fed president after Fed president after Fed president saying they'll back rate cuts moving forward. We now have QE6 in full swing. This is perpetual. Do not believe the lie that it's going to end next month on the 8th. Just like this month, it was supposed to end on the 10th. Not only did it not end, it's being expanded and made larger through the 8th of next month. And if you believe it's going to end then, Well, I got a few other things to tell you as well. This goes back to what I've been explaining to you since time immemorial about world central banks wanting to become the lenders and buyers of last resort. The President of the United States, Mario Draghi, Christine Lagarde, just to name three, are 100% spokespeople for the military-industrial complex. The middle class is about to face a moment of horror moving closer. Now, our president explained today that our economy is strong, and he's touting the U3 dog shit number like he doesn't know what the U6 is, quite obviously. Let me ask you, when we found out that manufacturing hit a one-decade low and we are now in contraction in manufacturing and in retail, where was the president then talking about our economy being strong? That was parroted today, not just by Fed Chair Powell. It was also parroted by Larry Kudlow, who seems to be back now after he got put in the doghouse for saying that negative rates were not good for the United States. So, and I cannot stress this enough, this is a game changer. And I said that when President Trump was elected with regard to the stock market. It was a game changer on Greg Hunter's show. That this market was going to vault higher. Now, this is a game changer. The fact that the Federal Reserve is now embarked on QE6, Perpetual, that now the President of the United States and the Federal Reserve have become one. They are synchronized. I cannot stress to you how bullish this is for the stock market. It is extremely bullish. There's no other way to put it. And the distortions between the economy and the stock market are going to get greater and greater. The lies, like I've been explaining to you, are going to get greater and greater. Let's talk more about lies. Very sadly, American citizens today are borrowing from their credit cards in greater amounts than we have ever seen in history, just to make ends meet. Now, we understand that the president's pushing the fake narrative, the U3 number, all day long. He's also pushing the fake narrative that there's a deal with China pretty soon. Google it, you'll laugh your ass off. A deal coming with China, it's only been 2 years, but it's coming soon. It's coming soon. Maybe 2 years later, I have no idea. But it's the propaganda ministry. He's the propaganda minister and the head of the military-industrial complex, the communist regime, fascist regime now running our country. We are way beyond socialism. This has gone off the rails. So we understand that Americans, citizens, are borrowing from their credit cards in greater and greater amounts just to make ends meet. Now, what the president will not say, and he understands this to be true, and I'm going to ask you to look this up for yourself if you don't believe Greg. How about this? Wage growth has cratered. It has plunged since February. February of this year is where it peaked. Wage growth is plunging. But you can't know that. You're not allowed to know it. Look here. Don't look here. That's where we are at, people. It's laughable. Let me explain this to you, and maybe you're one of these people. I sincerely hope you're not. Most people in this country who consider themselves middle class live paycheck to paycheck. I'm going to tell you who the economy is booming for. It's booming for people who have a few dollars. The rich, obviously the 1%ers, they could not possibly be doing better. The military-industrial complex, the CEOs of these corporations, they are killing it. Windfall profits up until lately. And I explained to you recently that these companies were going to start to need to raise capital, and we're going to start to see layoffs. You remember I said this like 2 or 3 days ago? Let me read this to you while I got you here, because I want you to get it. I want to get this right, and I will get it right for you. So I want you to start thinking about what I said. Our economy is in free fall. The stock market's going to continue rising, especially now. This is a game changer, people. I can't stress this enough to you. All right. HP, Hewlett-Packard, to cut up to 9,000 jobs in a restructuring plan. You need to start thinking about your job, because believe me, our economy is failing, and the propaganda the lies are going to get greater moving forward. So start thinking about how you're going to support yourself and your family when your job gets cut. Your job will get cut too. There's no doubt about it. HP is not the last corporation here to be cutting jobs. We all know that. We've seen a slew of it lately. It's going to get much, much worse. These companies need to raise capital. They will not allow their margins to suffer. They will not allow their earnings per share to suffer. Their stock buyback extravaganza is running out of steam. So now it's the Federal Reserve stepping in here with QE6. Game changer, people. Game changer right now. And no surprise to you. I explained to you how many times, raise your hand if you heard me say to you, they're going to do things that we cannot believe. And they're going to expand the debt to heights which are unimaginable. Well, you're just seeing the opening. This is just the opening salvos, people. You have not seen anything yet. Believe me. Believe me. And this is not going to end on the 8th of next month. This is perpetual. But again, I guess this is being done because our economy is booming, because our economy is so strong. All the layoffs, the retail sector falling into contraction, manufacturing falling over a cliff, people cutting back on spending, people borrowing from their credit cards, living paycheck to paycheck. Sounds great to me. How about you? Maybe you should tweet the POTUS at Real Donald Trump and ask him, hey, why are we getting QE6? Wait for dollar devaluation. People, let me explain this to you. We have now entered a new phase. Again, the good cop, bad cop has played out. The president and the Fed have become one. They are synchronized. They're saying the same things, which was the plan all along. I know you never bought it if you followed this blog, because I laid it out for you blow by blow, play by play, as the other fake YouTube channels who are being paid to produce propaganda. You know who they are. I have proof, okay? And maybe there'll be a time when I release that proof. But there is proof that these channels are being paid to push the propaganda. You know who they are. Call them out. Ban them. Shame them. Because that's what's going on here. Look, everything they've been telling you is a complete lie. Everything I've been telling you not only is truth, but you're seeing it happen right before your eyes. Can you argue that? People, with that said, I think this video has been not just important, but exceedingly important. I'm going to ask you to please share it far and wide as you possibly can. Throw this in the face of all of those people who are, the president wants to take out the Fed. Oh, that's the real plan here. He has become one with the Fed. This has been a charade, a sitcom. That's all it's been. But you knew that since it started. Why? Because I explained it to you. QE6, people, this is a new phase of this thing around us about to get monumentally worse. And this financial monster, we haven't seen anything yet. The lenders and buyers of last resort, well, you're seeing it now with this new repo, this new buying of longer-term debt. It's perpetual. So again, there's your ammunition to go after all of the small-minded, brainwashed, programmed individuals out here, because they lose. You and I have been vindicated. This guy loves you. Please, again, share this video. I'm going to leave you off with my favorite 3 things. Love each other, care about each other, and be charitable. I'll see you sometime over the weekend to do my markets to look ahead. It's going to be a good one.